Some foods don't fight disease, they help your body do it better. And after 60, that distinction matters more than most people realize. As we age, the immune system doesn't stop working, but it does change. Immune cells become slower to communicate. Signals that once traveled quickly now take longer to coordinate. This doesn't mean immunity is weak. It means it needs clearer, more supportive signals to do its job efficiently. Certain fruits provide exactly that kind of support. Not by overstimulating the immune system, and not by acting like medicine, but by improving how immune cells talk to each other and respond when they're needed. Inside many fruits are natural compounds called polyphenols. These compounds don't attack viruses or bacteria directly. Instead, they influence immune signaling pathways. They help immune cells respond with precision rather than overreaction. After 60, this precision becomes essential. Here's what really happens. Immune cells rely on chemical messages to decide when to act and when to stand down. With age, those messages can become distorted. Some responses are delayed, others linger too long, creating unnecessary inflammation. Polyphenols help refine these messages. When polyphenols enter the body, they interact with immune cells and gut bacteria. In the gut, they are transformed into smaller compounds that immune cells recognize. These compounds help immune cells communicate more efficiently and reduce background inflammation that interferes with proper immune responses. You may notice the effects indirectly. Fewer lingering aches, better recovery after stress or illness, more stable energy levels. These changes reflect improved immune coordination rather than increased immune force. Another important factor is oxidative stress. Immune cells generate oxidative molecules as part of their defense. With age, oxidative stress can overwhelm immune cells, making them less effective and more inflammatory. Polyphenols act as regulators, helping immune cells manage oxidative activity without shutting down necessary defense mechanisms. Fruits rich in polyphenols also support the gut-immune connection. A large portion of immune activity originates in the gut. When gut bacteria are supported, immune cells receive clearer signals about what is safe and what requires attention. Polyphenols help maintain this balance by feeding beneficial bacteria and reducing inflammatory triggers. This is why consistency matters. One serving of fruit works quietly in the background, reinforcing immune balance day after day. Over time, immune cells adapt to this supportive environment. After 60, the immune system benefits more from regulation than stimulation. Overstimulation can increase inflammation and fatigue. Supportive foods work differently. They help immune cells respond at the right time, with the right intensity, and then return to rest. You may also notice cognitive benefits. Immune signaling affects the brain through inflammatory pathways. When immune balance improves, mental clarity often improves as well. This connection becomes stronger with age. The beauty of this approach is simplicity. One fruit a day doesn't require strict diets or complicated planning. It integrates easily into daily routines, which is essential for long-term benefit. Doctors studying nutrition and immune health emphasize foods that work with the body rather than forcing change. Polyphenol-rich fruits fall into this category. They don't override natural systems, they support them. It's also important to understand that immune health is cumulative. The immune system responds to patterns, not isolated actions. When the body consistently receives supportive signals, immune resilience improves gradually. After 60, the goal isn't to boost immunity aggressively, it's to keep it responsive, balanced, and efficient. That's where certain fruits shine. They help immune cells do what they were designed to do without creating unnecessary stress. As you continue watching, you'll learn which type of fruit provides this benefit, how it works inside the body, and how to include it easily and safely as part of your daily routine to support immune health as you age. After 60, immune cells don't actually lose their ability to protect you. What changes is the speed and clarity of how they communicate. This distinction is important because many people assume aging automatically means weak immunity, when in reality it often means slower coordination between immune cells. Your immune system works like a conversation. Cells send chemical messages to one another to decide when to respond, how strongly to respond, and when to stop. In younger years, these messages move quickly and resolve efficiently. After 60, the messaging system becomes less precise. Signals can arrive late, overlap, or stay active longer than necessary. This slower communication explains why recovery after illness can take longer, why inflammation may linger, and why the body sometimes feels run down even without clear infection. The immune system is still capable, but it's operating with less efficiency. One common mistake is trying to stimulate the immune system aggressively. Supplements or extreme interventions aimed at boosting immunity often increase immune activity without improving communication. This can actually worsen inflammation, which is already more common with age. After 60, the immune system benefits far more from clarity than force. Clear signaling allows immune cells to respond at the right time and then return to rest. Without that clarity, immune cells may remain partially activated, draining energy and increasing inflammatory stress on tissues. You may notice signs of this in daily life. Minor aches last longer, fatigue lingers after stress, the body feels slower to bounce back. These experiences often reflect immune cells staying active longer than needed due to inefficient signaling. Inflammation plays a key role here. Inflammation is not the enemy, it's a necessary part of immune defense. The problem arises when inflammation doesn't shut off properly. Slower immune communication increases the risk of prolonged, low-grade inflammation that quietly affects joints, blood vessels, and the brain. After 60, immune cells are also more sensitive to environmental stressors. Poor sleep, emotional stress, and dietary imbalances can distort immune messaging further. When multiple signals arrive at once, immune cells struggle to prioritize. This is why supportive daily habits become so important. Instead of pushing the immune system harder, the goal is to help it communicate better. Clear signals allow immune cells to act with precision rather than urgency. Another important factor is immune tolerance. A healthy immune system must recognize what does not require a response. With age, this tolerance can weaken, leading immune cells to react to harmless stimuli. This contributes to allergies, sensitivities, and inflammatory reactions that didn't exist earlier in life. Improving immune communication helps restore this tolerance. When signals are clearer, immune cells are better able to distinguish between real threats and background noise. The immune system is also closely linked to the nervous system. Stress hormones influence immune signaling. After 60, stress responses tend to last longer, further slowing immune resolution. Clearer immune communication reduces the impact of stress on immune activity. Doctors studying aging immunity increasingly focus on immune modulation rather than stimulation. Modulation means helping the immune system respond appropriately, not excessively. This approach aligns with how the immune system naturally operates. Supporting immune communication helps reduce the cumulative burden on the body. Instead of fighting constant low-level inflammation, the immune system conserves energy and focuses on true defense and repair. You may notice benefits beyond fewer illnesses. Improved immune signaling often leads to better energy levels, improved sleep, and more stable mood. These changes reflect reduced inflammatory interference throughout the body. After 60, immune health is about responsiveness, not aggression. A responsive immune system can mobilize quickly when needed and disengage efficiently afterward. This balance protects tissues and preserves long-term health. Understanding this shift changes how we think about immune support. Instead of asking how to make the immune system stronger, the better question becomes how to help it communicate more clearly. This is where specific foods and daily habits come into play. They don't force immune cells into action, they refine the messages immune cells use to coordinate their response. By focusing on immune communication rather than stimulation, you work with your body's natural design. This approach supports resilience, reduces unnecessary inflammation, and helps the immune system remain effective as you age. Polyphenols in certain fruits help immune cells send and receive cleaner signals. And after 60, this role becomes especially valuable because immune responses rely more on coordination than intensity. Polyphenols are natural compounds found in plants that interact gently with the immune system rather than pushing it into action. Unlike stimulants that increase immune activity across the board, polyphenols act more like translators. They influence how immune cells interpret information and decide what kind of response is appropriate. This distinction matters because many immune problems after 60 are not caused by a lack of response, but by responses that are poorly timed or overly prolonged. Immune cells communicate using chemical messengers called cytokines. These messengers tell cells when to activate, how strongly to respond, and when to shut down. With age, cytokine signaling can become unbalanced. Some signals are delayed while others persist longer than necessary, creating low-grade inflammation. Polyphenols help regulate this process by influencing the pathways that control cytokine production. They don't silence immune responses. Instead, they help prevent unnecessary escalation. This allows immune cells to respond with precision, conserving energy and reducing collateral damage to surrounding tissues. Another important role of polyphenols is their interaction with immune cell receptors. These receptors act like antennas, receiving information from the environment. Polyphenols can influence how these receptors respond to signals, improving accuracy and reducing false alarms. You may notice the benefits of this improved signaling indirectly. Inflammation settles more quickly. Recovery after illness or stress feels smoother. The body doesn't feel constantly on edge. These changes reflect improved immune decision making rather than increased immune strength. Polyphenols also influence gene expression inside immune cells. Certain genes control inflammation, oxidative stress, and immune resolution. Polyphenols gently shift gene activity toward balance, encouraging immune cells to resolve responses once their job is done. After 60, immune cells are more prone to staying partially activated. This lingering activation drains energy and contributes to chronic inflammation. Polyphenols help signal immune cells that it's safe to return to a resting state. Another key benefit is protection against immune overreaction. Overreaction increases tissue damage and fatigue. By improving signaling clarity, polyphenols reduce the likelihood that immune cells will respond too strongly to minor triggers. Polyphenols also work indirectly through the gut. When consumed, many polyphenols reach the gut intact, where beneficial bacteria transform them into compounds that immune cells recognize more easily. These transformed compounds act as calming signals, reinforcing immune tolerance. This gut-mediated effect is especially important after 60, when gut diversity often declines. Polyphenols help support beneficial bacteria that play a role in immune communication. A healthier gut environment improves immune coordination throughout the body. You may notice digestive comfort improves when immune signaling in the gut becomes calmer. Less bloating, fewer sensitivities, and more regular digestion often accompany improved immune tolerance. Another important aspect is oxidative balance. Immune cells use oxidative molecules to fight threats, but excessive oxidation interferes with signaling pathways. Polyphenols help immune cells manage oxidative activity so it supports defense without disrupting communication. This balanced oxidative environment allows immune cells to focus on real threats rather than responding to background noise. Over time, this reduces inflammation-related wear on tissues such as joints, blood vessels, and the brain. Polyphenols do not act instantly like medication. Their strength lies in repetition. Each day they reinforce clearer signaling, gradually reshaping immune behavior. This slow, steady influence is well suited to the aging immune system. Doctors and researchers increasingly recognize that immune support after 60 should emphasize regulation. Polyphenols fit this approach because they support the immune system's natural intelligence rather than overriding it. The simplicity of obtaining polyphenols through fruit makes this strategy sustainable. It doesn't require strict protocols or complex supplements. It works quietly in the background, day after day. By improving immune communication rather than forcing immune activation, polyphenols help preserve energy, reduce unnecessary inflammation, and support resilience. This refined approach allows immune cells to do their job efficiently, protecting health as the body continues to age. Polyphenol-rich fruits support the gut immune connection, and after 60, this relationship becomes one of the most important foundations of immune balance. A large portion of the immune system is closely linked to the digestive tract. Immune cells line the gut, constantly monitoring what enters the body and deciding how to respond. This makes the gut a training ground for immune behavior. When the gut environment is calm and balanced, immune cells learn tolerance and precision. When the gut environment is disrupted, immune cells become reactive, increasing inflammation throughout the body. As we age, changes in digestion and gut bacteria become more common. Stomach acid production may decrease, digestive enzymes become less efficient. The diversity of beneficial gut bacteria often declines. These changes make it harder for the immune system to interpret signals correctly. You may notice this as increased food sensitivities, bloating, irregular digestion, or discomfort after meals. These symptoms are not only digestive issues, they reflect immune activity in the gut responding more strongly than it should. Polyphenols play a unique role in restoring balance. Many polyphenols are not fully absorbed in the upper digestive tract. Instead, they reach the colon, where gut bacteria interact with them. Beneficial bacteria, transform polyphenols into smaller compounds that immune cells recognize as calming signals. This transformation is key. The immune system responds not just to food itself, but to how food is processed by gut bacteria. When beneficial bacteria thrive, immune cells receive clearer messages about safety and threat. After 60, supporting beneficial bacteria becomes more important because immune tolerance tends to decline. Immune cells may begin reacting to harmless food particles or gut microbes, increasing inflammation. Polyphenols help restore tolerance by encouraging a healthier bacterial balance. You may notice improvements beyond digestion. Joint stiffness may ease, skin irritation may lessen, energy levels may feel more stable. These changes occur because immune regulation improves throughout the body, not just in the gut. The gut barrier also plays a role. The lining of the gut acts as a filter, allowing nutrients through while keeping harmful particles out. With age, this barrier can become more permeable. When unwanted particles pass through, immune cells react, increasing inflammation. Polyphenols help support gut barrier integrity. They reduce irritation and support the cells that maintain this protective lining. A stronger barrier reduces unnecessary immune activation and lowers systemic inflammation. Another important aspect is communication between the gut and the brain. The gut sends signals to the nervous system that influence immune behavior. When the gut environment is inflamed, stress responses increase, further disrupting immune balance. Polyphenols help calm this gut-brain communication loop. You may notice improved mood or reduced anxiety when gut health improves. This reflects calmer signaling between the gut, immune system, and brain. Consistency is essential. Gut bacteria respond to patterns, not occasional exposure. Regular intake of polyphenol-rich fruits gradually shifts bacterial populations toward balance. Immune cells adapt to this environment and reduce overreaction. After 60, the immune system becomes more sensitive to disruptions. Even small improvements in gut balance can have noticeable effects on inflammation and recovery. Doctors studying immune aging emphasize gut health because it influences nearly every immune pathway. When immune cells in the gut are constantly activated, inflammatory signals spread through circulation, affecting joints, blood vessels, and cognitive function. Polyphenols help interrupt this cycle by calming immune activity at its source. They don't suppress immunity, they teach immune cells how to respond appropriately. Another benefit is improved nutrient absorption. A healthier gut environment allows vitamins and minerals to be absorbed more efficiently. These nutrients further support immune function and tissue repair. Over time, the gut becomes a more supportive environment rather than a source of stress. Immune cells become more selective, responding to true threats while ignoring harmless stimuli. After 60, immune health depends less on fighting and more on discernment. The gut plays a central role in teaching this discernment. Polyphenol-rich fruits provide gentle daily guidance that helps immune cells learn balance again. By supporting the gut-immune connection, these fruits help reduce chronic inflammation, improve resilience, and support whole body health in a way that is quiet, natural, and sustainable as the body continues to age. Polyphenol-rich fruits help immune cells manage oxidative stress, and after 60, this function becomes essential for reducing unnecessary inflammation while preserving the immune system's ability to protect you. Oxidative stress is a natural part of immune activity, but when it becomes excessive or poorly regulated, it interferes with immune signaling and damages surrounding tissues. Every immune response involves the production of reactive molecules that help neutralize threats. In younger years, the body balances this process efficiently. After 60, antioxidant defenses tend to weaken, and oxidative byproducts linger longer. This creates a background of oxidative stress that keeps immune cells partially activated even when no real threat exists. You may feel the effects as lingering joint discomfort, muscle soreness that lasts longer, slower recovery from minor illnesses, or a general sense of inflammation in the body. These sensations often reflect immune cells struggling to shut down oxidative processes once their job is done. Polyphenols help restore balance in this system. They don't block immune defenses. Instead, they help immune cells regulate oxidative activity so it remains targeted and temporary. This allows immune responses to be effective without becoming destructive. One way polyphenols do this is by influencing the enzymes immune cells use to produce and neutralize oxidative molecules. They help fine-tune these enzymes so oxidative activity supports defense rather than driving chronic inflammation. Another important role of polyphenols is protecting immune cell membranes. Oxidative stress damages cell membranes, making immune cells less responsive and more prone to dysfunction. Polyphenols help stabilize these membranes, improving immune cell resilience and communication. You may notice improved physical comfort when oxidative stress is better regulated. Joints feel less stiff, muscles recover more easily, the body feels less inflamed overall. These changes reflect reduced collateral damage from immune activity. Blood vessels benefit as well. Oxidative stress damages the lining of blood vessels, triggering immune responses that lead to stiffness and reduced flexibility. Polyphenols help protect vessel lining by reducing oxidative injury, supporting better circulation and cardiovascular health. The brain is especially sensitive to oxidative stress. Excessive oxidative activity interferes with neurotransmitter signaling and contributes to cognitive fatigue. By helping immune cells manage oxidative processes, polyphenols indirectly support brain clarity and focus. You may notice improved mental sharpness or reduced brain fog over time. These benefits reflect calmer immune signaling in the nervous system and improved blood flow. Polyphenols also help immune cells resolve inflammation. Resolution is an active process, not a passive one. Immune cells need specific signals to stop producing inflammatory molecules and begin repair. Polyphenols support these resolution pathways, allowing inflammation to end properly. After 60, this resolution phase becomes slower. Inflammation may linger longer than necessary, increasing wear on tissues. Supporting resolution is just as important as initiating immune defense. Another benefit of managing oxidative stress is improved energy. Chronic inflammation drains energy by keeping immune cells active unnecessarily. When oxidative stress is reduced, energy is conserved for daily activity and repair. You may notice steadier energy levels and less fatigue when immune cells are no longer overworked. This supports mobility, exercise tolerance, and overall quality of life. Polyphenols also protect mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the energy-producing structures inside cells, and they are vulnerable to oxidative damage. By reducing oxidative stress, polyphenols help preserve mitochondrial efficiency in immune cells and other tissues. Better mitochondrial function means immune cells can respond effectively without burning out. This supports long-term immune resilience rather than short bursts of activity followed by exhaustion. Consistency again plays a role. Occasional intake of polyphenols helps temporarily, but regular daily exposure creates a sustained reduction in oxidative stress. Over time, immune cells adapt to this calmer environment and reduce baseline inflammation. After 60, protecting immune cells from oxidative overload becomes a key strategy for healthy aging. Polyphenol-rich fruits provide this protection gently and naturally by helping immune cells manage oxidative stress rather than suppressing immune function. These fruits support a balanced response. Inflammation resolves more efficiently. Tissues are protected, and the immune system remains capable without becoming overactive. This balance allows the body to age with less discomfort, better recovery, and greater resilience, all supported quietly through simple daily food choices. Consistent daily intake of one supportive fruit improves immune balance over time, and after 60, this consistency matters far more than intensity or variety. The immune system does not respond dramatically to single actions, it adapts slowly to patterns it encounters again and again. This is why daily repetition creates meaningful change while occasional effort rarely does. After 60, immune cells become more cautious and less flexible. They are slower to adapt to sudden changes but respond well to steady, predictable signals. When the body receives the same supportive input each day, immune cells begin to treat that input as part of the normal environment. This familiarity allows immune responses to become calmer and more efficient. One fruit a day works because it provides a reliable signal rather than a strong one. Polyphenols and other bioactive compounds arrive consistently, reinforcing immune communication pathways without overwhelming them. Over time, immune cells adjust their baseline behavior, reducing unnecessary activation. You may notice that benefits appear gradually. There is no sudden surge of energy or dramatic change. Instead, recovery feels smoother, minor discomfort resolves more easily. Energy feels steadier across the day. These subtle improvements reflect deeper immune adaptation rather than temporary stimulation. Consistency also supports immune memory. Immune cells learn from repeated exposure. When supportive compounds appear regularly, immune cells recognize them as part of a safe, nourishing environment. This recognition reduces the likelihood of exaggerated responses to minor stressors. After 60, exaggerated responses are a major driver of chronic inflammation. Small stressors trigger immune reactions that last longer than necessary. Consistent daily support helps shorten these responses, reducing cumulative inflammatory burden. Another important factor is metabolic stability. Daily intake of a supportive fruit helps regulate blood sugar and insulin signaling. Stable metabolism reduces inflammatory signaling that interferes with immune communication. Over time, immune cells operate in a more predictable internal environment. The gut plays a key role in this process. Gut bacteria respond strongly to consistency. When the same types of compounds arrive daily, beneficial bacteria thrive and harmful fluctuations decrease. This stable bacterial environment sends clearer signals to immune cells in the gut. You may notice improved digestion when patterns stabilize, less bloating, more regular bowel movements. These changes reflect improved gut immune coordination, which supports whole body immune balance. Consistency also reduces stress around food. Knowing that one simple habit supports immune health removes pressure to eat perfectly. Reduced psychological stress lowers cortisol, which directly influences immune signaling. This creates a positive feedback loop where calmer choices support calmer immune responses. Daily habits are easier to maintain than complex routines. One fruit a day fits naturally into breakfast, lunch, or a snack. Because it's easy, it's more likely to become automatic. Automatic habits create long-term benefit because they persist even during busy or stressful periods. Doctors studying longevity emphasize habits that are sustainable over decades. Immune resilience is built slowly. Short-term interventions rarely produce lasting change. Consistent daily practices do. Another benefit of consistency is cumulative protection against oxidative stress. Each serving contributes a small reduction in oxidative load over weeks and months. This reduction becomes significant. Immune cells operate in a less hostile environment, preserving their function. You may also notice improved response to challenges. When illness or stress does occur, recovery feels more efficient. The immune system responds and resolves without excessive fatigue. This reflects improved resilience rather than increased strength. Consistency also supports aging-related changes in absorption. After 60, nutrient absorption can vary from day to day. Regular intake increases the likelihood that immune cells receive what they need despite these fluctuations. Importantly, consistency does not require rigidity. Missing a day does not undo progress. The immune system responds to overall patterns, not perfection. What matters is returning to the habit without stress or guilt over time. Daily supportive input teaches immune cells what a balanced environment feels like. They become less reactive and more precise. Inflammation resolves more efficiently. Energy is conserved. After 60, immune health is not about constant defense. It's about maintaining readiness without exhaustion. One fruit a day supports this balance quietly and effectively. By choosing consistency over intensity, you give the immune system what it needs most: clear, predictable signals that reinforce balance. This gentle approach supports long-term resilience, helping the body stay responsive, efficient, and stable as it continues to age.